Helldivers. Echoes of a Dead War, Chapter 1. The Desert That Remember. The desert of Oshane was not silent. It only pretended to be. Wind dragged itself across endless dunes of ash-colored sand, whispering through broken helmets and shattered rifles half buried like gravestones. The sky above was a permanent bruise, purple and burnt orange, choked with the remnants of orbital bombardments that would never come again. No dropships, no reinforcements, no orders. Super Earth had gone quiet 2 years ago, right after the Great War swallowed everything. And yet, 3 Helldivers still walked. The last 3 captains, Sonny moved first, as always. His armor had once been white and gold. Now it was a patchwork of scorched plating, bug chitin reinforcements, and salvaged tech wired together by necessity rather than design. His visor was cracked down the left side, but he never replaced it. He's personally changed from the once funny comedic man he was to the turned hard bodies Helldiver he is today. There's a reason he's the captain. Sergeant Charlie followed behind him, heavier steps, heavier weapons. His rifle wasn't standard issue anymore. It was 3 different guns welded into one brutal solution. He carried ammo like a man who no longer believed in resupply. Captain Sonny and Sergeant Charlie are brothers as arms, signed up in the academy the moment they could wield a rifle, and have been inseparable since. Private Ryan brought up the rear. Still the newest, still learning, still alive, somehow, but he's got heart, most of the time. Bunker 42. The bunker hatch groaned as Sonny forced it open. Inside, the air was stale, thick with rot and old metal. Ryan stepped in cautiously, rifle raised. Think this one's been picked clean too? Charlie snorted. Kid, if it's still got anything useful, it ain't Oshane. They searched anyway. They always searched. Empty crates, broken ration packs, a shattered terminal still blinking faintly, looping the same corrupted message. For Super EA, 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 Ryan shut it off. 2 years, he muttered, and no one came back for any of this. Charlie kicked a locker open. It fell off its hinges. Yeah, he said flatly. That's usually what happens when you lose. Fire and survival, that came fast. It always did on Oshane. The 3 of them sat around a small fire, the flames reflecting off their battered helmets. Skewered over the heat, strips of bug meat sizzling and dripping acidic fat into the coals. Ryan watched it cook, trying not to think too hard about what it was. Charlie tore off a piece and chewed without hesitation. Still tastes like regret, he said. Sonny didn't smile. Still keeps you breathing. Ryan took a bite. He winced. I'll never get used to that. Charlie shrugged. You will. Or you'll die. Either way, problem solves itself. The conversation. The fire cracked softly between them. For a long time, no one spoke. Then Charlie broke the silence. You ever think about it? He asked. Sonny didn't look up. No, Charlie smirked. Liar. Ryan glanced between them. Think about what? Charlie leaned back, staring up at the dead sky. All of it, he said. The drops, the cities, the screaming over comms before they went dark. He paused. The people we left behind. Ryan swallowed. We didn't leave them. We did, Charlie cut in. Orders or not. Silence again, then quieter. What was it like, Cap? Ryan looked at Sonny. Before all this, what was it like? Sonny's memory. Sonny didn't answer right away. The fire reflected in his cracked visor. For a moment, it looked like something else, something distant. Finally, he spoke. It was loud, he said. Ryan frowned. Loud? Charlie chuckled under his breath. That's one way to put it. Sonny nodded slowly. Comms always buzzing, ships overhead, orders coming in faster than you could think. He paused. You never had time to question anything. Ryan leaned forward. And the fighting? Sonny's voice hardened. Cleaner. Charlie let out a dry laugh. Cleaner. You call orbital strikes turning cities into glass clean. Sonny didn't react. As cleaner than this. He gestured out at the endless desert. No strategy, no command, just surviving. Ryan hesitated. So, what changed? Charlie answered before Sonny could. We ran out of things to throw at the problem, he said. Ships, soldiers, hope. He glanced at Sonny, and then the bugs stopped acting like bugs. The sand moves. A low vibration rolled beneath them. Ryan froze. Did you feel that? Charlie was already on his feet, weapon up. Yeah. Sonny extinguished the fire instantly, grinding it into the sand. Darkness swallowed them. The ground shifted again. Not tunnel or movement. Something slower, smarter, the new species. The sand ahead of them rose. Not explosively, not violently, but deliberately. Something emerged. Tall. Too tall. Its body was wrong. Segments overlapping in unnatural ways. Its limbs bent inward, then outward again, like it was still deciding how joints should work. Its head split open slightly, revealing layers that moved. Independently. Ryan whispered, "That's not in any field manual." Charlie tightened his grip. "Yeah, because it ain't supposed to exist." The creature tilted its head, watching them, learning. Then it made a sound, broken, warped, but unmistakable. Helldivers. Ryan's breath caught. It spoke. Charlie raised his weapon. "Don't care, everything out here dies." Sonny stepped forward slightly. Wait, something worse. The creature didn't attack. Instead, it mimicked. It pointed awkwardly at the fire's ashes. "Food, learn, watch." Ryan's voice shook. "It's been observing us." Before anyone could react, the desert exploded behind them. A swarm of standard bugs surged forward, screeching, claws tearing through sand. Charlie opened fire instantly. "Here we go!" Ryan. "Too many!" Sonny braced, but then the new creature screamed, a piercing, unnatural sound that cut through the chaos like a blade. The swarm stopped, mid-charge, then, slowly, they retreated. The realization silence fell again. Ryan stared. It controlled them. Charlie didn't lower his weapon. "No, worse." Sonny's voice was low. "It didn't control them," he said. "It told them to leave." The creature turned back toward them. Its voice came clearer now. Not same. In on Chapter 1. The wind picked up again, dragging sand across the bones of Oshane. 3 Helldivers stood facing something new. Not just another enemy, something evolving, something watching, something learning, to be continued. Chapter 2. The Ones Who Remember, Helldivers. Echoes of a Dead War, Chapter 2. The ones who remember the wind did not return right away. For a long moment after the swarm vanished, the desert held its breath, as if Oshane itself was waiting to see what would happen next. 3 Helldivers stood in the dark, and something else stood with them. The distance between, no one lowered their weapon. Not Sonny, not Charlie, definitely not Ryan. The creature remained still, its strange layered head tilted as though studying the tension between them. Its body shifted in small, unsettling adjustments, like it was constantly correcting itself, learning how to stand, learning how to be. Ryan whispered, "Cap, what do we do?" Sonny didn't answer immediately. His gaze never left the thing. "You don't fire," he said quietly. Charlie scoffed. "Yeah, and when it decides we're dinner?" Sonny replied, "Then we fire." A beat. Charlie didn't like it, but he didn't pull the trigger. The first step, the creature moved. Ryan flinched. Charlie's weapon tracked it instantly, but the movement was slow, careful. It stepped closer to the dead fire. Then it crouched. Its limbs bent the wrong way again, but this time less wrong than before. It reached toward the ashes, paused, then touched them, memory without understanding. "Fire," it said again. Its voice was still broken, but clearer now. Ryan swallowed. "It's repeating itself," Charlie muttered. "No, it's practicing." The creature dragged its limb through the ash, smearing black across the sand. "Warm, food, safe." Sonny's voice dropped. "It associates fire with survival." Charlie glanced at him. "So do we," the wrong kind of learning. The creature turned its head toward them again, then slowly. See, it mimicked Ryan, same stance, same tilt of the rifle. Not perfect, but close enough to make Ryan take a step back. "Cap, I don't like that." Charlie gave a dry laugh. "Congratulations, you've got instincts." The creature adjusted again, correcting posture, improving. "Watch, you learn." Sonny's jaw tightened. "That's not instinct," he said. "That's adaptation." Echoes of the war. Charlie stepped forward slightly, unable to hold it in anymore. "You've seen things, right?" he said to the creature. "Cities, battles, us. The creature's head twitched. Many will she fall, it said. Ryan froze. Did it just skyfire and scream and Charlie's smirk vanished. For the first time in a long time, he looked unsettled. Sonny spoke carefully. You were there, he said, during the Great War. The creature didn't answer directly. Instead, its body shifted again, plates along its torso opening slightly, revealing faint pulsing light beneath. Change in, it said. Something is coming. The ground trembled again. Harder this time. Not one movement. Many. Charlie snapped back into combat mode. Conversation's over. Ryan looked out into the darkness. That's a lot. Sonny nodded. Too many for coincidence. The creature turned its head sharply toward the horizon. For the first time, it looked afraid, the truth they didn't expect. They come, it said. Charlie frowned. They? Ryan's voice dropped. Aren't you one of them? The creature shook its head. The motion was jerky, but unmistakable. Not same. The sand in the distance began to rise in multiple places. Dozens of shapes, fast, aggressive, different. The new threat. Charlie raised his weapon. All right, I'm done asking questions. Sonny didn't stop him this time. Form up, he ordered. Ryan moved beside them, heart pounding. What about it? He asked, glancing at the creature. Sonny made a decision, fast. It moves, it fights, or it dies like everything else. The creature turned toward them again. Then, it stepped beside Sonny. Not behind, not away. Beside. The first alliance. Charlie blinked. You've got to be kidding me. Ryan whispered, it's choosing. The creature raised its limb, mirroring Charlie's weapon stance again. Not perfect, but ready. Fight, it said. Contact. The swarm hit like a storm. But these weren't the bugs they knew. Their bodies were sharper, faster, their movement coordinated, almost tactical. Charlie opened fire first. These are new, Ryan followed. They're flanking. Sonny fired controlled bursts. Stay tight. The creature moved differently. Not like a bug, not like a human, something in between. It struck with precision, targeting weak points the others hadn't even seen yet. A glimpse of the future in the chaos. Ryan noticed something. The creature wasn't just fighting, it was watching them fight, adjusting, improving mid-battle. Better, it muttered. Charlie blasted a charging bug apart. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Aftermath. The fight ended as quickly as it began. Bodies littered the sand. Silence returned. Ryan lowered his weapon slowly. We survived. Charlie exhaled. Barely. Sonny turned to the creature. You could have left, he said. The creature stared at him, then more clearly than before. Learn, survive. A pause. We together. The final moment, Charlie shook his head, half laughing in disbelief. Great, he said. 2 years without command, and now we've got a bug recruit. Ryan looked at Sonny. Cap, what do we do now? Sonny looked out across the endless desert, then back at the creature, then at his team. His answer came without hesitation. We keep moving. Caption, because whatever the war became, it wasn't over yet. To be continued. Chapter 3, The Broken Signal. Helldivers, Echoes of a Dead War. Chapter 3, The Shape of Trust. The desert changed after the fight. Not in sight, not in sound, but in feeling. Ryan couldn't explain it, but Oshane felt like it was watching them now. A fourth shadow, they moved before dawn. Sonny led as always. Charlie covered the flanks. Ryan stayed just behind, and the creature walked among them. Not behind, not ahead, among. It had adjusted its stride overnight. The jerking, broken rhythm from before had smoothed into something closer to human movement. Still wrong, but less obviously so. Ryan kept glancing at it. You don't sleep, do you? He asked quietly. The creature's head tilted. Watch, it replied. Charlie muttered, yeah, that's not creepy at all. Naming the unknown, they reached higher ground by midday. A ridge of blackened stone cutting through the dunes like a scar. Sonny raised a hand. Halt. Below them, ruins. Not just wreckage. Structure. A collapsed Helldiver outpost, half buried in sand and time. The remains of defensive turrets jutted from the ground like broken teeth. A tattered banner clung to a bent antenna pole. its symbol barely visible beneath scorch marks. Ryan exhaled. That's ours. Charlie scanned the perimeter. Or it was. The creature stepped forward, staring down at the outpost. Remember, it whispered. All three Helldivers froze. Sonny turned slowly. You've been here. The creature didn't respond directly. Many, like you, he said. Ryan swallowed. Helldivers? Charlie's voice hardened. Yeah, and I'm guessing it didn't end well. Descent, they moved in tight formation. The outpost was dead, but not empty. Ryan felt it immediately. No wind inside the perimeter, no shifting sand, just stillness. Too still. Charlie checked the turret mount. EMP'd, fried from the inside out. Sonny crouched near the main entrance hatch. Claw marks, deep, precise, cut through reinforced steel. Not standard bugs, he said. Ryan looked at the creature. It was staring at the hatch. Not curious, not cautious, recognizing. Inside Bunker Theta 9, the door gave way with a metallic groan. Darkness swallowed them. Charlie switched on a shoulder light. Stay sharp. The beam cut through dust and decay, revealing scattered equipment, overturned crates, and bodies. Ryan stopped. Helldivers, still in armor, still where they fell. They didn't even make it out, he said quietly. Charlie didn't speak, just kept his weapon raised. The creature stepped inside last. Then, it froze. Echoes. Noise, it said softly. Sonny turned. What? The creature's head twitched. Inside. Before. Screaming. Breaking. Ryan's grip tightened on his rifle. It remembers this place, Charlie muttered, or it was part of it. The creature moved deeper into the bunker. Slowly, like walking through a memory. The recording. Sonny found the terminal near the command table. Cracked but functional. He powered it up. Static flickered across the screen. Then, a recording. A Helldiver officer appeared, helmet off, face gaunt, eyes wide with exhaustion. We've lost control of the perimeter, the officer said. These aren't standard Terminids. They're adapting, learning. The video glitched. They're mimicking tactics, squad formations, flanking patterns. Hell, I think they're watching us too. A loud impact echoed in the recording. Distant screaming. The officer turned, panicked. They're inside the walls. The screen distorted violently, then stabilized just long enough for one final line. Some of them aren't attacking. Silence. The truth. Ryan looked slowly at the creature. That's you, he said. Charlie shook his head. No, that's worse. Sonny stood still, processing. Not just it, he said. Others like it. The creature stepped closer to the terminal. Its voice came clearer now. Before, only swarm. A pause. Then change. Ryan frowned. Something made them evolve. Charlie's voice dropped. Or someone. The divide. A sound echoed from deeper in the bunker. Metal scraping. All four of them turned. Charlie raised his weapon instantly. Movement! Sonny nodded. Form up! The creature didn't move. It stared into the darkness. They hear, it said. Ryan's voice shook. The new ones? The creature responded immediately. Not same. Contact in the dark. The lights flickered. Then died. Darkness? Complete. Charlie's voice cut through it. Contact front! Something moved. Fast. Not a swarm. Individual. Precise. A shape lunged into the faint emergency glow. Sleeker than the others. Sharper. Its body held a disturbing symmetry, like it had perfected its form. And its movement was disciplined. It didn't rush. It hunted. Something that chose wrong, the creature beside them reacted instantly. Not with fear, with recognition. Failed, it said. The new entity tilted its head, mirroring. But unlike before, its imitation was perfect. Ryan felt his stomach drop. It's like ours, but Charlie finished it. Better. The first fracture. The new creature spoke, clear, unbroken. Helldivers. No distortion, no hesitation. Sonny didn't lower his weapon. Yeah, the thing smiled. Not naturally, but intentionally. You teach, it said. We improve. Ryan stepped back. Cap, Charlie growled. That one I am shooting. But before he could fire, their creature moved, stepping between them, facing the other. Choice? Not them, it said. The advanced one tilted its head again. Obsolete, it replied. The word hung in the air like a verdict. Then, it geared itself up, shredding its oozy skin. The bug prepared itself, clenching its body, making its veins almost burst from beneath it. Captain Sonny said to Sergeant Charlie, "You better get that gun locked and loaded, brother." Charlie replied, "I'm already 2 steps ahead of you," as he loaded his specialized weapon. Sonny says to Ryan, shouting with demand, "Get behind us and be ready to reload and watch our 6. If we die, you die. Remember that, Private?" Ryan says to the captain. "Sir." "Yes, sir. But what if?" Charlie interrupts. "No fucking ifs, I do's, or fucking don'ts. Now put on your big boy pants and get some." Captain Sonny shouts, "For democracy!" Sergeant Charlie shouts, "For Super Earth!" The bug charged forward in a dashing leap, and it attacked with no hesitation. Fire and division. The bunker erupted into chaos. Charlie opened fire, rounds tearing into the advanced creature. But it moved with terrifying efficiency, dodging, predicting. Ryan fired in bursts. "It knows what we're going to do." Sonny adjusted, then stopped being predictable. The creature fought too, but not like before. This time it wasn't just learning, it was choosing button. After the clash, silence returned slowly. The advanced creature was gone. Not dead, gone. Charlie lowered his weapon. "That's new." Ryan was breathing hard. "It retreated." Sonny turned to their companion. "You could have gone with it," he said. The creature looked at him. Longer this time, more focused. "No," it said, a pause. Then, "Choose." The shape of trust. Charlie scoffed, shaking his head. "I can't believe this." Ryan looked between them. "Cap, it made a decision." Sonny nodded slowly. "Yeah," he said. He looked out into the dark corridors of the bunker, then back at his squad. Now 4. We all did. Final line. Deep beneath the sand of Oshane, something new was forming. Not a swarm, not an army, a future. And for the first time since the war ended, the Helldivers weren't facing it alone. To be continued. Chapter 4. What learns to hunt? Helldivers, echoes of a dead war. Chapter 4. The price of trust. The air in the lower levels of Bunker Theta 9 didn't just feel cold, it felt heavy, like the breath of something that had been dead for 1,000 years. The emergency lights pulsed a rhythmic, sickly red, casting long, distorted shadows that danced against the blood-streaked walls. The recruit stood at the edge of the shadows. It was twitching. Its plates weren't just shifting, they were grinding, a sound like dry bones snapping over and over. "Cap, stay back," Charlie warned, his triple-welded rifle leveled at the creature's head. The vibe just went south, way south. Sonny didn't listen. His transition from the funny man of the academy to the hard-bodied captain was built on one thing, a belief in results. This bug had fought for them. It had chosen them. In a world of silence, it was the only ally they had. "He's one of us now, Charlie," Sonny said, his voice low, almost gentle. He stepped forward, his scorched white and gold chest plate reflecting the red strobes. He reached out a hand, intending to steady the creature. "Easy, recruit. We're the same. We're the snap." The betrayal didn't come with a roar. It came with a sickening, high-pitched click. The recruit's head didn't just tilt. It spun 180 degrees. The layers of its face peeled back to reveal a jagged mess of mandibles dripping with a black, corrosive bile. Before Sonny could even blink, the creature lunged. A single blurred movement. A wet, tearing sound echoed through the bunker. Sonny didn't scream at first. He just stared. His left arm was gone from the shoulder down, gripped in the creature's primary claw. The recruit wasn't eating it. It was studying it, tasting the blood like it was data. "Captain!" Ryan shrieked. Then the scream came, a raw, guttural howl of agony as Sonny collapsed into the sand-dusted floor, his lifeblood spraying the red-lit corridor. "Unleashing hell, you son of a bitch!" Charlie snapped. He didn't just fire, he became a hurricane of lead. Dropping his primary rifle, he ripped 2 heavy-duty stalwart machine guns from his back rig, one in each hand. The recoil would have shattered a normal man's collarbones, but Charlie was fueled by 2 decades of brotherhood. He sprinted forward, leaping onto the recruit's hunched back, locking his boots into its segmented plating. Vroom! The twin barrels roared, raining a vertical wall of armor-piercing rounds directly into the creature's spine. I-core and shrapnel flew everywhere. The creature screeched, a sound that bypassed the ears and vibrated directly in the brain. "Get him out of here, Ryan!" Charlie roared over the deafening thunder of his guns. "I'm peeling this dishwasher apart!" Field surgery. Ryan grabbed Sonny's collar, dragging the captain into a side maintenance room. The floor was littered with the skeletal remains of old Automaton bits, rusted scrap from a war even older than this one. "Sir, look at me! Look at me!" Ryan sobbed, his hands slick with blood. Sonny's face was white, his teeth bared in a terrifying grin of pain. He reached into his belt with his remaining hand and pulled out his combat knife. The bile!" Sonny wheezed. "It's eating the flesh. Cut it. Ryan, cut it out!" The wound was turning a bruised and necrotic purple where the bug's spit had touched it. Sonny didn't wait for the private. He plunged the knife into his own shoulder, carving away the infected meat with the cold precision of a man who had already accepted his death. "The parts?" Sonny gasped, pointing to a pile of scrap. "The bot arm, the hydraulic actuator. Wire it. Do it now!" Ryan's hands flew. He wasn't a medic, and he wasn't an engineer, but he was a Helldiver. He grabbed a rusted Automaton forearm, its metallic fingers still twitching with a ghostly, residual charge. He found a portable power cell and a handful of neurosync cables. "This is going to scream, Cap," Ryan whispered. "Just get some," Sonny growled. Ryan slammed the metal housing into the raw shoulder socket. He jammed the sync cables directly into Sonny's exposed nerves. The captain's back arched off the floor. His eyes rolled into the back of his head as the blue sparks of the Automaton tech fused with human sinew. The metal fingers of the bot arm snapped shut, then opened. The captain was no longer fully human, but he was still a Helldiver, the stand. Out in the hall, the horror reached a fever pitch. Charlie was still on the bug's back, his machine guns glowing cherry red. The recruit was slamming itself against the walls, trying to crush Charlie, but the sergeant wouldn't let go. He was laughing, a jagged, manic sound. "Keep reeling, you ugly cuss!" Charlie screamed, his barrels melting as he emptied the last of the belts into the creature's core. The door to the maintenance room hissed open. Sonny stepped out. His left side was a jagged, hissing silhouette of cold steel and sparking wires. He picked up his discarded rifle with his new hydraulic grip. The metal fingers crushed the foregrip, locking on with a strength no flesh could match. "Charlie!" Sonny's voice was different, hollow, amplified by the bot parts. "Move!" Charlie rolled off the creature's back just as Sonny leveled his weapon. "Democratic oversight," Sonny whispered. He pulled the trigger. To be continued in Chapter 5. The Heart of the Hive. Helldivers, Echoes of a Dead War, Chapter 5. The Heart of the Hive. The air didn't just smell like rot anymore. It smelled like industry. Deep beneath the crust of Oshane, the natural limestone of the bunker had been overtaken by a pulsating, organic architecture. Walls of hardened resin glowed with a faint bioluminescent green, and the sound, a low rhythmic thrumming, vibrated through Sonny's new metal arm like a live wire. The three of them moved in a tight diamond. Sonny was the point, his hydraulic shoulder hissing with every step. Charlie tracked the right, his shotgun held low and ready. Ryan took the rear, his rifle scanning the shadows for the perfect one. The observation deck, they reached a reinforced observation window that looked down into a massive sub-cavern. What they saw made even Charlie stop in his tracks. "Sweet liberty," Ryan whispered. Below them, but the thousands of Terminids weren't just scurrying, they were working, constructing. Stalkers were weaving massive, silken cables into salvaged Automaton processors. Integrating, warriors were dragging heaps of rusted scrap, drop pods, pelican wings, and deadbot chassis into a central pool of glowing acidic fluid. Evolving, in the center of the pool sat a massive crystalline structure. It pulsed in sync with the bunker's heartbeat. "They're not just eating us," Sonny's voice cracked through the mechanical distortion. They're mining us. They're taking the tech they destroyed and grafting it into the hive. Charlie spat on the floor. Bugs using bot tech. It's a goddamn nightmare sandwich. What's the play, Cap? The plan, a final drop. Sonny looked at his metal fist. He could feel the residual data in the arm. Ghosts of the automaton it used to belong to. The terminal in this room, Sonny pointed to a command console covered in webs. If it's still linked to the bunker's atmospheric venting system, we can flood the lower hive with E710 and spark it. We turn this whole hole into an oven. And us? Ryan asked. Sonny looked at the private. We're the matches, Ryan. We don't leave until the fire starts. The perfect encounter. As Ryan moved to the terminal, the shadows in the corner of the room detached themselves. Incorrect, a voice spoke. It was the perfect one. It stepped into the dim light, its body now armored in shimmering jet black plating that looked suspiciously like Helldiver carbon fiber. It even wore a tattered cape draped over its primary sides like a trophy. You mimic the dead, Sonny growled, raising his rifle. The creature tilted its head. We improve the failed. You are last of a dead dream. I've got your dream right here, Charlie roared, leaping over the console and unloading a shell into the creature's chest. The perfect one didn't flinch. It caught the buckshot on its reinforced plating and lunged, its movements fluid, calculated, and terrifyingly fast. The fight for the flame. The room exploded into a blur of sparks and ichor. Charlie was a whirlwind, using the butt of his shotgun like a club when the creature got too close. Ryan frantically punched codes into the terminal, his fingers flying across keys as the creature's secondary limbs tore chunks out of the ceiling above him. Sonny went for the throat. He tackled the perfect one, his mechanical arm locking around the creature's neck. The servos screamed in protest as he applied thousands of pounds of pressure. Reload, Ryan, Sonny shouted. Hit the vent. I need 10 seconds, Ryan yelled back, dodging a piece of falling debris. The perfect one drove a jagged limb through Sonny's side, the flesh side. Sonny gasped, blood splattering the creature's mask-like face, but he didn't let go. He shoved his metal hand into the creature's open maw. Taste the metal, Sonny roared. He triggered the hydraulic release in his arm. The metal fist expanded with an explosive force, shattering the creature's jaw and pinning it to the floor. The spark, done, Ryan screamed. A heavy yellow mist began to pour from the vents. The smell of raw, unrefined bug juice and fuel filled the room. Charlie grabbed Sonny, hauling him off the pinned, twitching creature. We gotta go now! The lift, Ryan pointed to a rusted cargo elevator. They scrambled onto the platform, Sonny leaning heavily on Charlie. As the lift began its slow, grinding ascent toward the surface, Sonny looked down at the perfect one. The creature was crawling toward the terminal, its broken face leaking black fluid. Sonny pulled a single, scorched incendiary grenade from his belt. He pulled the pin with his teeth. For Super Earth, he whispered. He dropped the grenade, the silence of Oshane. The explosion didn't just shake the bunker. It felt like it cracked the planet. A pillar of blue and orange flame erupted from the desert floor, incinerating everything within a mile of the outpost. The three Helldivers lay in the ash-colored sand, watching the fire light up the permanent bruise of the sky. Charlie looked at his melted shotgun. Ryan sat with his head in his hands, breathing in the first breath of clean air he'd had in years. Sonny sat up, his mechanical arms sparking, his sides soaked in blood. He looked out at the horizon. The fire was dying down, but the desert was no longer silent. From the distance, a new sound echoed. Not a bug's screech, not a bot's clank. A signal, a faint rhythmic pulsing coming from their comms. The first real transmission in 2 years. Distress signal. Received. 505th Battalion. We are coming. Ryan looked up, tears streaking his dusty face. Cap, did you hear that? Sonny closed his cracked visor. I heard it, he said, his voice finally finding a spark of the old, funny man he used to be. About damn time they showed up for the party. End of Chapter 5. The war was dead, but the Helldivers were still standing. Chapter 6, The Long Way Home. The dust of the explosion hadn't even settled before the sky began to scream. Not with the roar of a hive lord, but with the thunder of Pelican 1 engines. Dozens of them pierced the thick Oshane clouds, flanked by a fleet of super destroyers that blotted out the sun. The 505th hadn't just sent a scout, they had brought an entire armada to reclaim the silence. The extraction. The extraction zone was a charged circle of glass. As the first transport touched down, a squad of fresh Helldivers, armor gleaming and capes pristine, stepped out. They froze, rifles leveled at the three ragged figures limping toward them. "Identify yourselves," the lead diver barked, his voice amplified by a helmet that hadn't seen a speck of dirt. Sonny didn't stop. His mechanical arm sparked, trailing smoke, and his side was a mess of dark blood. He didn't have his dog tags, and his visor was cracked down the middle. He looked more like the perfect one than a soldier of Super Earth. "Captain Sonny, 212, he rasped, his voice barely audible over the turbines. "Put the guns down, kid. We've already had enough friendly fire for one lifetime." The debrief. The ride up to the super destroyer SES Will of Eternity was silent. Charlie clutched his melted shotgun like a holy relic, and Ryan stared at his own reflection in the polished deck plating, looking at a face he barely recognized. They weren't greeted with a parade. They were met by high-ranking tactical officers and a medical team that looked at Sonny's mechanical arm with more suspicion than pity. "The data you recovered from the bunker is disturbing," an admiral said, pacing the medbay as a drone scanned Sonny's side. "Bugs using bot logic? It changes the entire projection of the galactic war." "It's not just logic," Sonny said, wincing as the drone applied stim gel. "It's evolution. They're tired of being just bugs. They want to be better." "Which is why," the admiral countered, "your team will be quarantined. Your equipment and that arm must be decommissioned for study. You've done your part. You can rest now." The last horizon hours later, Sonny stood at the observation deck of the Will of Eternity. He wore a standard issue jumpsuit, his metal arm replaced by a temporary sterile prosthetic that felt light and hollow. Charlie and Ryan joined him, looking out at the black expanse of space. Below them, Oshane was undergoing democracy's reach, a planetary-scale bombardment meant to erase every trace of the hive they had barely escaped. "They're going to bury it all, aren't they?" Ryan asked softly. "The bunker, the perfect one, us?" "The war needs heroes, Ryan, not ghosts," Sonny replied. He looked at his new, clean hand. It didn't hiss. It didn't feel the ghost data of the bots. It felt like nothing at all. "What now, Cap?" Charlie asked, leaning against the glass. "Retirement? A farm on a colony world?" Sonny looked at a nearby screen. New orders were already scrolling. Deployment to the Men-Kent line. Automaton activity detected. The cycle was starting again. The war wasn't dead. It had just moved to a different theater. "Not a chance," Sonny said, a familiar, sharp glint returning to his eyes. "I hear there's a party on the bot front, and I've still got one good arm to throw a punch with." He turned away from the burning planet, his tattered, scorched cape fluttering in the artificial breeze of the vents. The three of them walked toward the armory, their footsteps echoing in sync, not as survivors of a dead war, but as the vanguard of the next one, the end.